YouTube. What is popping today? We have the final issue of Predator versus Black Panther. And let me tell y'all about this chapter. It does not disappoint. But before I start this video, if you guys are enjoying this, just hit that like button, subscribe button. We appreciate every single like. This is how this chapter starts, though. We are in the Great Mound where T'Challa and his team are walking through the tunnel as the Black Panther tells them that this tunnel leads into the heart of the mines where our enemies is waiting, but we must stop here. What is it, my king, is one of the Dora Milaje says to Black Panther, but he just tells her that we must move into the maintenance hatch. The reason why is because T'Challa understands the element of surprise, because he had used this method when he was training with the Dora Milaje and the Hatu Zaraze in the beginning of this book. In chapter 1 of this book, he tells them at this moment, they are too exposed if they stay in the main tunnel, seeing as the Predator have been using the element of surprise to pick them off one by one. They will go through the hatch to catch the Predators off guard, and he asked that Achilles and his war dog take up the rear as they go through the tunnel pipe. The problem is, one of the war dogs had lingered in the tunnel where he sensed he was being observed. And the person that was observing him was the Predator leader who was watching what the war dog was doing. And the war dog actually is distracted. He actually gets distracted. He begins chasing a drone, and he says, "I spit in the eye of my enemy." As the war dog rushed forward, he triggered a mine station on the tunnel wall. And let me tell y'all, this part was brutal because the laser had cut through him as cleanly as a blade through water. And what's crazy is he was still alive through all of that, and he was in a great deal of pain, and he was dying when he called out for Achilles, who had almost dropped into the air shaft until he heard his name being called. So running over there, he gets the shock of his life when he see one of his fellow war dogs laying in a pool of his own blood. Achilles says, "It's okay. Go with peace to your ancestors, knowing that I will avenge your death. I will kill them all. I will kill every last one of them. I swear." He's saying all of this, but you can see that Predator foot in the pool of blood. And the guy that's dying is trying to tell him behind you. So it's really insane that the guy that is dying is going to watch Achilles die before him. That's insane because the Predator is right behind him and then takes his head off, as you can see. And you can see the war dog with his big eyes, but he can't say nothing because he's about to die. And then we switch back over to the outside of Wakanda borders where the Falcon, who had a whole lot of questions. So he's asking her, like, "So you're a princess from a place called Wakanda?" She's basically like, "Yes." "And your name is Shuri?" She's like, "Yes." And Falcon is still a little confused. And he says that Wakanda somehow kept itself hidden from the world and owes his wealth and power from a source called vibranium, the same metal that is in Cap's shield. And she's like, "Yes, and you're being invaded by the aliens?" And she's basically like, "Yeah." And we know that Falcon has no choice but to believe this because, as we see, the dead Yauja is right in front of him at this moment. So he just asked, "So what can I do to help?" And Shuri was like, "Well, for starters, you could shut that American mouth of yours. That would be appreciated." And Falcon's like, oh, so I'm supposed to bow to you? My fault, my princess. Let me bow my head." And Shuri is like, that's more of her brother thing. She needs to concentrate because she's trying to hack the Predator mask. And the reason why she's getting ready to hack it, as we all too well know, that the Predator's technology and the Wakandians' technology are similar. So it might be easy for her to hack the Predator's mask. And that's when Shuri asked Falcon to grab onto her, and Falcon was like, why? And then Shuri would just tells them because the predators are monitoring their security channels. So if one steps out, one steps in. She wants to use Falcon's ability to fly and his suit ability to jam GPS. So we kind of like, switch back to the Panther because we got to get back to the Panther and the Dora Milaje as they're coming out of the air shaft when T'Challa hears a thumping sound. He recognized the body that slid down the air shaft, even though it no longer had a head. Then he heard Achilles' voice calling out to him. It was hollow, disembodied. It was a recording. I will kill every last one of them, I swear. Panther realizes that the predators know that they are here. He tried to warn the Dora Milaje, but it was too late. One of the Dora Milaje had vanished in a red spray because one of the predators took off her head. Okoye, mind you, did not have time to mourn because death was coming for her next. But because of all her training for her became instinct. Her body dove and her hand gripped her spear. She threw without seeing, only sensing. Her aim was true because her spear went right through the neck of the predator. Down the ventilation shaft came Achilles' killer, mocking Panther with the dead man's voice. I will kill all of them. This predator is bold, mocking T'Challa like that. And with the force of the cannons, their body collided and shot from the shaft out into the mines. T'Challa, using his cat-like reflexes, flipped them over so that the predator will take most of the force of their fall. And it actually does, so he ends up killing that predator, avenging Achilles' death. But more and more predators kept coming out of the dark as Okoye battled and killed some. And then there was one predator that snuck up on her to take her out. But the Panther used Spirit Wind and went right through that one predator, killing it instantly. Okoye noticed that they are holding their position, so she thinks that maybe that they are done. But T'Challa knows better, realizing that they are obeying the commands of the leader. The Yautja removed his helmet and revealed his hunger. The Panther understood what this Yautja wanted. Okoye, seeing this, asked the Panther to get behind her because she is doing her job. And her job is to protect the king of Wakanda. But the Panther just tells her that this is his fight and his fight alone because the Yautja leader have something to prove. A fair fight, no armor, no help, just one-on-one. T'Challa and the Yautja leader clash as they go toe-to-toe, face-to-face, skin-to-skin. They fought in Mortal Kombat. There was more than a kingdom at stake. There was pride. Pride, because the Yautja leader was tired of this. During the fight, T'Challa gets the upper hand, asking the Yautja if it yields. But T'Challa is making a mistake, I believe, because he didn't finish off the Yautja while it was down. This Yautja, the Yautja leader, has PTSD from all the failures coming crashing down on him. It was a disgrace, Yautja. He will no longer allow his father or any king for that matter to humiliate him any further. He ends up slashing T'Challa badly, injuring him in the process. With T'Challa wounded, the leader tells his clan to go back to the ship. They had the vibranium they came for, and they will come for this battle later stronger than before. Wakanda had flourished in isolation. They never needed help or asked for help. But the policy had changed. They had made enemies, but they also made allies. As the Falcon and Shuri come to the rescue, as the predators are leaving, Shuri did not know if her brother was dead or alive. She did not know what awaits her on the ground of Wakanda. All she knew was the alien vessel was leaving in the Great Mile, which was a clear indication of a heist, a vibranium heist. We see that Falcon is giving it all he got. He and Shuri were the last line of defense. What Shuri ended up doing is taking one of the Yautja claws and start pushing the countdown button. And y'all know what that countdown. She calls out to the Falcon, who apologizes for not being able to stop them. But Shuri is like, well, we are right on time. The Yautja leader couldn't help himself. He blasted off a message warning his brother that he's coming home to win back his honor with God metal. With blood, Brody is talking mad trash to his brother. But we know that's not happening because there was a loud boom. There was nothing that survived that blast but vibranium and the greed that inspired. The Predator King and his favorite son tracked the location of the message. That is when they found God metal, enough of it to advance their arsenal, one that will rival anyone in the cosmos, including Earth. And that's how the video ends. The way that they are setting it up, it's almost like they might do a sequel to this book. I don't know if they are or not, but I will catch you guys on the next video that's coming up. Peace out, y'all.